Hey, what's up, guys? This is Count Zero from Count Zero Records, and welcome to this week's segment of Music Business 101. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button right there, and you will be up to date with all the latest videos that we're posting. And today we're going to have a topic which is going to be increasing your productivity a whole lot, so stay tuned. Hey guys, what's up? This is Count Zero from Count Zero Records, and today we will be talking about a topic which a lot of you might not be thinking about, but which is a very important topic, and that is the topic of artistic productivity. Okay guys, artistic productivity, what do I mean when I say this? See, a lot of people start out making music, actually their artistry doesn't even necessarily exclusively pertain to music, and then they kind of like explore various things that they can do in their art or their craft, and they find out that they like certain parts of that and that they kind of like dislike certain other parts. I mean, who likes administration, for example? Who likes to fill out forms? Or some people just don't like social media. Some people don't like technology, and they don't like have fun plugging stuff into stuff and making things work and actually, full-time taking care of that things actually do what you want them to do. Some people don't have fun learning an instrument. Some people don't have fun talking to business partners. So what a lot of people end up doing is actually doing what they like. And while there's nothing wrong with doing what you like, and it's actually what brought you to music and to become an artist, there is a thing about being successful that is a little bit more boring than you might think, and that thing is that you have to do things that you don't like that much if you want to be successful. See, I have a friend, actually I have a bunch of friends, who like to do music, and they really delve into this whole synthesizer world, to where they create patches, they create their own sounds, they create their own filter settings, they create everything by themselves that they then later use in a record, which is really cool if you would like to do that. But the question you should ask yourself is what it is that you are doing as your artistry. Are you an audio engineer? Are you a producer? Are you a songwriter? Are you a musician? Are you an Instagram marketing expert? What are you? Because a lot of people, or I see a lot of people that get caught up doing various tasks that don't advance their career in what their actual goal is. What do I mean by that? I mean that I see a lot of musicians who are somewhat introverted and do not connect with their fan base on social media. That's a huge mistake, and it will hurt your career. I see a lot of musicians who are very introverted and they love technology and they tinker around with sounds very much. Every day they're on there, I found this sound, which is really great. But also, this will not really advance your career unless you want to be an audio engineer. If you want to be an audio engineer, then learn about technology, then you can learn about sound creation, you can learn everything theoretical and practical about sampling, about all the filters, everything there is to know. And it's a huge field. I actually studied to become an electrical engineer, and I finished that school, so I have a little bit of background knowledge, actually a lot, because I did signal processing as electrical engineering, and I have a degree in signal processing. But I can tell you that field is extremely large. You will be able to spend years understanding electronic signal processing and what all goes into it. And the question that you should ask yourself, is that what I really want to do, and is that what will advance my career in a way that I actually want to advance it? Or is it just something I get sidetracked with? A lot of times people, when they become artists, they say, oh, I'm going to become an artist now. By the way, check out one of my latest videos about the difference between artists and entertainers. It's actually very important to know that difference. To become an artist, and then they say, okay, wow, really cool, now I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. And then they wonder that nobody cares what they're doing. Or that they're not productive, or that they don't have a lot of followers, or that they don't have a lot of sales. And that is because they get sidetracked with creative tasks that are not the tasks that are according to their ability. Because most musicians, or people that are musically inclined, are people who have a gift, the gift of music. They don't necessarily have the gift of social media or the gift of technology, and if they dabble with that, it might be really fun for them, but it's important to know what it is that your greatest skill lies at, and what you should do and what you should not do. I once heard a really great quote from deadmau5, who said, music is not about what you do, it's about what you do not do. And I find this to be true, very true, actually excellently true. It's something I live by every day, because people tend to, I don't know, get sidetracked with all kinds of crap. They get into dabbling with the instruments, then they're dabbling a little bit with recording quality, then they're dabbling a little bit with songwriting, then they're dabbling with social media, then they're dabbling with trying to, the legal aspects, a little bit here, a little bit there. And I know that I'm the person that is always telling you guys that the legal aspects are important, but that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to do everything. For example, I have Silent, I love that synthesizer, I have Massive, I have all the classical synths, VST and AU synths that probably you have seen, you have heard a million times, and I use all the presets only. And people are like, what, you're using presets, you're using samples, you're using loops? Yes, of course I am, because I'm not a preset creator, I'm not a loop creator, I'm also not a singer. I have things that I can do really well. I'm a pretty good songwriter and a pretty good arranger and a very decent producer, and those are my skills. A part of that, I'm a little bit of an extrovert, so I have no problem doing social media. So therein lies my skill set. And I'm trying to do the things that I can do fairly well. Organization is also one of them, which is why I run a label, because I have fun doing it and I'm pretty good at it. But if I would start to make my own drum sounds, and then maybe to make my own drums, and to record my own drums, and then to make the material that I use to make my own drums, to record my own drums, where would it end? There's people who are incredibly gifted in making instruments, in making sounds, in making all the software, the plugins, and the things that go into your artistry. And guess what? They're like a million times better than you doing that. So of course you can dabble with your presets, and you can put them up, put them down, and you can do all the processing with all the plugins that you can buy on the various plugin sites. But it's not gonna make your music a damn bit of a difference, or any kind of better. Because if you are what most people want to be, an artist, a musician, your core is actually songwriting and producing. So the question is, are you an audio engineer or a tech guy? The people who are really these technical mix engineers, audio engineers, people who work on the technical aspect of music, and they usually do not produce their own music, but they work on other people's music, and that's what they like, and that's what they're really great for. And it's the people that do the mixing, it's the people that do the mastering, it's the people that talk that endlessly obsess about various soft and hardware plugins and all these things. But these are technicians. Then you have the business people, lawyers, economists, marketing experts, people who are not technicians, they're not musicians, they're actually working in the administrative / economic / legal field. It's also very important that you have those. It's important that you advertise your music, it's important that you sell your music, it's important that you have contracts, it's important that you know what is actually in the contracts. All these things are incredibly important, but it's its own profession. And then there in the middle are most of the people, or want to be in that middle, those most people that are musicians. And as a musician, what is your core skill? What do? You create music. You write songs, you write bass lines, you make beats, you write lyrics, maybe you sing, maybe you play an instrument, but that is what you do. So while it's cool and necessary to take care of the other parts that go into your music career, and it's imperative that you take care of these things, have a good technical guy that you can go to and ask him, how do I do this? Which filter, which limiter, which compressor should I use? Or maybe you just ask him to come over and do some recording for you, mixing, mastering, whatever. Have a lawyer, have maybe a friend who is an MBA. Cover these bases and your music career will be so much better. But know that in the middle, right there in the middle, in that beautiful core, is you as an artist. And as an artist, you need to be productive and create music to sell, to enjoy, to distribute. And that quality of knowing what to do and knowing what not to do is a quality that many artists are actually sorely lacking. So they're kind of like drowning, trying to do 80 different things at the same time and failing in all of them. I have a lot of people who, I wouldn't say incessantly beg, but very offensively communicate to me for a recording contract. And then when I say, okay, that would be really cool, I would like to try it with you, they're completely overwhelmed with what little they have to do to actually sign that contract, or the fact that somebody actually has said yes, and then they completely go ghost for a month because they don't know what to say. So if you're really bad in negotiating a contract with a label, then have somebody else do it, or at least be prepared. But don't just, do everything by yourself with no planning and then fail at everything. Rather doing too much, try to focus. I think that's what I'm getting at. Try to focus on the things that you're really great at, and try to accept / get help in the things that you're not great at. Do not do everything by yourself. Music, just like anything in the world, is a team sport, and if you believe you have to do everything by yourself, you can be either extremely gifted and extremely well educated, or unsuccessful. Chances that you're going to be unsuccessful are very high. because you can never do everything by yourself. If you have like a really great education, lots of experience, some years on your back, you can do more things, you know. I've been making music since the 80s, but in the 80s I didn't have a record label. I had no idea, 100% no idea how anything from mixing, mastering, distribution, sales, taxes, contracts, royalty collection, sales in India, sales in China, any of that works. All I knew is how to, make music on a 4-channel noise tracker on Amiga 500, and before that on Commodore 64. So over my life I kind of like picked up some additional skills that I can use now and that I am using now, but do not think that these things will be God-given to you when you're 20. So if you're 20 and you're starting out, think very hard about what it is that you can do, think very hard about what team you could have, and try to focus on your actual musical creativity. Try to create great music and try to obsess a lot less about plugins, software, hardware, filters, equalizers, enabling oversampling in enabling oversampling in Ableton's built-in EQ8 makes it closer to Fab Filter's default behavior or not. These are all incredibly fun topics, but they're completely useless for your musical career. Understand and focus on the things that are actually matter. Make a melody. I don't know. Sing something while you're showering and then sit down and make that melody happen. That is actually what you need to do as a musician. Nobody gives a crap about your input, about the function of filters. And you're not going to advance filter science. You're not going to advance signal processing science with your 0 years of study in that field. So focus on what makes you successful and focus on what you like also. And if you're unsuccessful and you're bad in something that you like, you need to learn it. Just saying, I like doing that, so I'm just going to do it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be effective. If you like it and you're really bad at it, try to learn about it. But generally, try to focus on the things that make you a musician, and usually that's creating music. Alright guys, that's all for today. See you next week, and y'all stay tuned.